For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise. And you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in on your favorite podcast app. Do you just kind of hate people sometimes? That's what a great opening sentence, isn't that? We're starting off on a good note. But don't you just think, you know what, people just suck sometimes. That's what we're talking about on the show this week, and following up to some of the things that I talked about last week, where I think people are just a little bit stupid on social media with what they post, the information they put out there. I have some feedback from you that I'm also going to chime in and give my opinion on, and it's coming up on The Scribble starting right after this.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secret to losing 3 to 5 pounds a week without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt RX. For the last 2 decades, we've helped countless people lose thousands of pounds. And now, it's your turn. Learn how to lose weight with one simple phone call and no prescription needed. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a risk-free money-back guarantee. So, if you're ready to start losing weight, call right now and get a free month supply with your first order of Body Sculpt RX. Call now. You have nothing to lose but the pounds. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. That's 800-459-6838.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. Last week on the show, I went on quite a lengthy rant about people being stupid on social media. Now, that is either posting a question when really the person could just look up the information online. What time? Does anybody know what time Costco's open today? When really you can just Google Costco hours, right, and then see it. And then the other one, the other topic that I went on about was people giving up too much information online. So whether that's to use an app, whether that's subscribing to something. And it's one thing to, you know, give your credit card information to Amazon or, you know, a reputable store or website. It's another, though, to subscribe. And then I gave the story about my radio colleague who signed up for a photography website, a photo website, and then 2 days later was asked to provide a copy of his ID by the guy who ran the website, not the payment processor, i.e., for example, PayPal or, you know, whatever it might be, but the actual guy himself. And I just kind of thought, well, that's identity theft waiting to happen. Like, it just seemed very odd to me. But I can only imagine, though, how many people give that information. Just give you a copy of the passport. Sure, I need this photo. I need the... No. I've already paid. My credit card's already been charged, right? So that's one thing. Now, in getting your emails about that, a lot of people agreed, disagreed, and then some other people, and I hadn't thought about this, use social media as a customer service tool. Because let's say, you know, I went to Home Depot or Walmart or Subway, McDonald's, whatever, you know, name a company. So I had a bad experience and I need to complain because my food was bad or the shovel that I bought broke. I don't even know, right? Whatever. You have a complaint about the service or the product that you bought. And suddenly people go to social media. Now, back in the day, I never would have, well, it didn't exist. Social media didn't exist, so I wouldn't have thought to do that. But back in the day, I would have then called the store, gone back to the store. I would have done something at the point of purchase, right? So if I bought it from a Walmart store in my city, well, what's the point of going to the corporate Walmart Twitter account to complain? The store can fix this very quickly for me. Give me my money back, give me a new one that's not broken, problem solved. But I guess, I could understand. There's one of two reasons: is that because you use social media, that's just your go-to tool, okay? Or you want to publicly thrash the company and, embarrass them, have people see that you're getting the runaround and that you're a pissed off Karen, basically. Okay, so there's just generally the two reasons. But when it comes to, let's say, the phone company or whatever it is, people were saying that the customer is tweeting their account number, like their phone account number or their internet account number, whatever it is, their membership information, giving their email address or their username or whatever it is in public tweets. And so I kind of sit there going, that's also very strange. Like, that's just very, very, that would be like me going to Walmart and getting a bullhorn, megaphone, whatever you call them, and going, my Visa number is 4504, like, to the cashier. Like, why? Just, no, you don't do that. And so once that was brought to my attention, I then went on to, Walmart, whatever, these companies, and I see that their social media accounts are not only promoting products, whatever, but constantly used as like a customer service tool. Oh, the airlines, that's another one that is big for that. Because people, flights are canceled or whatever it is. And I'm just, I don't know. I guess now with the airlines, I guess maybe that's a different story because we know their phone lines are jammed and, you don't want to sit there literally on hold for 4 hours, 5 hours, because I've heard those stories. So yes, maybe tweeting them or something is quicker. But yeah, if I've got a problem with the phone company, I don't think, I'm going to DM them on Twitter or I'm going to reach out to them on Twitter. Like, I'll call them. And I guess the reason why I feel that way is because Twitter is not mine. And what I mean by that is, like, if I call directly to Walmart, whatever, or the bank or something, that's my phone. I can record the call. I've got my... If I email them, at least I've got that paper trail, whatever. But if I lose my Facebook account or my Twitter account or something like that, because it's not mine, I just don't trust it. So I don't want to go and start giving my account information through Twitter. Now, again, this is where, yes, maybe it's safe, maybe it's the quicker, easier way to do it. I'm still kind of old school that way. I will still prefer to, like, fill out the web form and say, have somebody call me, or I'll look up your 800 number and I'll call you. I'm still very leery when it comes to things like that. Now, if I want to get attention and I do want to thrash Walmart, McDonald's, Home Depot, whatever it might be, sure, I will tweet them, get their attention because, that's what they respond to. But I would take it offline then at that point. Have them give me the customer service number and then I'll call in. Again, I don't even know that I necessarily put my phone number on a DM. I just don't know. Not to say that, like, okay, well, if I give my home phone number, all of a sudden, I'm some big celebrity and I've got Jeremy Bradley's home phone. No, because I don't feel that way about myself. But I just don't like that. Oh, send us a DM. And then, like, I don't like getting customer service through DM. And it's the same thing when a company asks me for my cell phone number. I don't like that. My cell phone number is mine. And because I don't want texts. I don't want a bunch of bull crap, spam stuff to my cell phone. Like, I don't. So yeah, that's another thing that people are doing online is you give your account information in a tweet, a public tweet, or my reference number was whatever, my confirmation number is whatever. And I realize the majority of people who are seeing that aren't going to do anything with it, but just still the fact that you put that out there like that, I don't know. That'd be like saying my home address and my account number is this. Eek. And I worry though that you always hear that it's going to be the old people that fall for that kind of, or do, like, you'd think that the 70, 80, 90-year-olds would do stuff like that. But it's people that are like 20 and 30, and I just think that you've grown up with the internet. You've grown up with apps and technology. You've heard of the show Catfish, so you know that people are doing stuff like that to fuck around with, relationships and things. You know that there's fake people. I just don't understand how you can be so trusting and just go and tweet out your account information or, things like that. It's very strange to me. So if you do this, tell me why you feel that it's easier. And I'm not judging you because like I said, I feel that it's probably quicker in some instances to get a DM response because now companies have done that. They've deployed an entire social media team of people who sit there because that's how customers are contacting them. I get it. So I'm not knocking you and I'm not saying that it's stupid. But when do you draw the line though? So like I said, when I would choose to pick up the phone, if I'm inquiring about my Visa, something sensitive like banking information, I'm calling them directly. I am not doing stuff like that through DMs. Even when we changed our cable TV plan or our phone internet TV plan at home, even then when they were DMing and saying, you know, oh, can I get your account number or, you know, your address? Like I just wasn't into that. There was just something so, I don't know. I felt weird. And then at one point they were like, well, can you take a picture of your most recent bill? Like I realized that I've reached out to them so I realized that it's not just, you know, a fake account that's contacting me asking for, like, I initiated the conversation. I get that. But I didn't realize they're going to ask me all these, like, whoa, your method of payment. When was your last bill paid? How much? I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't have that stuff with me at the time. So, you know, at least when I call in, if it's from my actual phone, they'll see that it's my phone. I can give them my address and everything because I've called them. I know that I've dialed them. And that's where I feel a little bit more comfortable. So tell me where your limit is when it comes to reaching out to a company. live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. Now, coming up in the next segment, I'm going to talk about how, I mentioned it last week, that I kind of just don't like people anymore. So I'm going to tell you what I did earlier this month, and it made me feel really, really good. That story's next on The Scribble.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer. Save the money, save the hassles, and get the better blue pill. Dial 800-578-0179. That's 800-578-0179. 800-578-0179.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt, your shoulder hurts, and your back. Oh my God, your back. They're constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore, am I right? Well, here is something you haven't tried. Pain Absolve. Pain Absolve is not available in any drugstore. The only way to get it is by calling today. We're so confident that it will work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase, no prescription needed, and best of all, each purchase comes with a money-back guarantee. Call now to find out how you can get Pain Absolve and get rid of your pain. Call 800-319-0582. That's 800-319-0582. 800-319-0582. Call today, 800-319-0582.
JB here, back on the Scribble. Last week on the show, I talked about how I think maybe it was shutdowns and the whole isolation thing that really made me kind of not like people. And, well, think about it. There were so many people who were bored. You know, well, I mean, even just the word isolate, right? Isolation. It just sounds so confining, right? And for me, I've always been a homebody. Well, for the last several years, I've been a homebody. And I think maybe it was when I was single, it was cool to be, you know, out and about every day, whatever. But even then, I just never, in my 20s when I lived with my parents and I wanted to get out of the house, sure, right? When I was in their basement and it wasn't my own place, absolutely. I was going, you know, dinner and walks and shopping and malls and hanging out and whatever. I was doing that all the time. And now, though, like I'm 40 now, right? I'm officially past that point of being in my 30s and everything. And on my 40th birthday, we did, you know, very sort of low key and not a big hurrah, not a big to do. My birthday is usually during a long weekend in Canada if I happen to be home, which I'm usually in Canada, not in our. We have a home in West Hollywood as well, people. So I'm usually in Canada for my birthday. And generally people are out of town or there's, you know, just lots of people have plans because that's the midway point of the summer as well. And that's when people start to really get depressed and go, oh my God, the clock is ticking. Summer's almost over. So I get it. I you know, and I've never been a big party person anyway, just because in our family, you know, I'm the black sheep, I guess you'd call it, because I'm the entrepreneur. I don't have kids. I'm married a dude, and it's not even about the gay thing. It's just we just have a different lifestyle altogether. Like I go to Hollywood. My husband is a fitness model and travels everywhere as well. So we have a very different lifestyle than my brothers and their wives and my parents, who are very stationary, very, you know, stuck close to home, and, you know, work for the school division, work for the city, whatever it is. Like, they have their kind of. I'm the only one who's like, you know, I can wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 if I want to. If I don't want to work tomorrow, I don't. And, you know, so we just have a very different life. And so being a homebody during the lockdowns, to me, I was just kind of like, whatever, this doesn't, I can go a good 3 or 4 days without leaving the house. Where, you know, I can do that. There are some weekends where we literally do not leave the house. The most like fresh air that we'll get is that we've opened the windows, or when we let the dogs out and we open the door. But and I'm not, there's more often than not, the weekend we could just kind of hang out. We hide out from the world. Now, again, we also have a very, very loving relationship. And I'm not just, you know, and we've been together for many years now, and it's still very passionate. It's still very all about us. We're just in this bubble. So we'll go to the mall, but it's like we only see each other when we're there. Like, we don't even, sometimes we'll notice the people around us, but we're just sort of in our own little world when we're together and when we go out. And that's always how it's been. So for me, the lockdowns weren't a bad thing for me. And so come my 40th birthday, I got together with individually different people. So, you know, my cousin or friend or coworker, some of the staff, whatever. And we did it all separately because I'm not a big party person. We've never had a party in our house. I've lived in my house for 15 years. The most I've had was my friend and her boyfriend over one time. And this was first when I moved into my house. We've never had a party. We don't do dinner guests. People do not come in our house because it's ours, and it's just kept that way. Our bedroom is upstairs. It's the entire upstairs. People have not seen our bedroom just because, I don't know, I just feel it's weird. Like, you have no reason to go upstairs to our bedroom because it's just the bedroom up there. So stay the fuck out. You know, maybe if you're giving a tour of the house, sure. But anyway, so I've come to the conclusion that I really don't like being around people. And I think it's just because there's just so much inconsideration, and people feel like their space or everything is their space. They don't, and I'm not a germaphobe. It's not what I'm talking about, but I just feel that people only have regard for themselves. And I feel like when you've gone to an event and like everybody's clamoring to take pictures at family get-togethers, it was always kind of that way too, where we're all taking the picture of the same thing and people are getting in your way. Like, I've always had the courtesy of like, I'll get my shot and then I'll move out of the way, or I'll look around and go, oh, am I in somebody's way? Oh, I'm not? Okay, good. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in your way. Let me duck out of here. But it's the exact opposite, right? People are just kind of like, not even consider. And it first struck me, and this is absolutely true. When we went to Disney for one of our radio shows, now again, we're going back probably about 12 years now at this point. It was one of our first travel tourism shows that we did. We were at Disney. We did a bunch of things on, you know, rides. We did pictures. We did some segments. And you know how they have their parades all day, every day. Well, there was a woman who was standing kind of front row. They have like these little poles and they got it roped off when the parade comes on. She was at one of the poles and was standing there. She had a big like magical Disney hat on, and she was standing there. It was a woman. That's not a teenager, not a little kid, not a full-grown woman standing there. Now, you've got kids that are sitting, standing, kneeling, watching this go by. You've got people who were... selfies weren't really a thing at the time. Like I said, we're going back about 12 years. So, people had their digital cameras. People were taking video that way, not necessarily with phones. And I remember we were filming this parade. We had our regular cameras, camcorders. We had video cameras, digital cameras. And we were trying to get the parade. We're getting characters. We're getting still shots, whatever. And this stupid bitch is standing there the entire time. And she was probably about 5 feet in front of us because, it was several people deep, but, you got the rows of people that are sitting. And when we got back and we're going through the content, I was just like, this woman is standing in the way the entire time. I mean, you can still see the parade. I'm not saying that she was completely blocking the view, but it's just sort of like, you're right at the line. Like, you're right, knowing that there's how many people behind you. Like, all she would have had to do, and maybe we'll do that, Bonnie, or Tim or whoever's going through our audio, find you know the video I'm talking about because we've all laughed about it. At any point in the video, tell me if she ever looks back. Tell me if she ever looks at the crowd that's behind her, because if she did, then she is an inconsiderate bitch. Dare I say she's a cunt at this point. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but it was to me, and it wasn't even just a matter of us videotaping, but like I said, think of the children. You know, you've got all these, like, this wasn't about you, 40-some-year-old woman. And again, let's also look for it, Tim, again. Let's look to see if she was with children. Like, during the parade, was she talking? Were any kids talking to her? Or was she just a grown-ass woman there by herself, standing and blocking the view? Somebody look that up. Tell me if she looks back to look at the crowd and see how many people are behind her, and if it appears that she was with any children there. Tim, thank you so much. We're probably not... it's a long parade, so I don't know that we'll have time during the show to get me the answer, nevertheless. But anyway, so that was kind of my defining moment of how people are just very inconsiderate. That was just something that struck me. Was like, oh my God, we're trying to get a good shot, and this woman is just there. No regard, like not even thinking there's people behind me. Oh, I might be in somebody's way. Oh, there's whatever. It was just so rude. Now, again, maybe it was unintentional. I don't know. But anyway, so that was my thought and why I kind of was like, yeah, people just don't think of others. If she was taking pictures, that would be one thing. Oh, same thing at school concerts. That's the biggie, right? You'll have all those people who clamor like fucking paparazzi to get a picture of their kid, and they're getting in your way, they're elbowing, they'll walk in front of you, and it's just like, you know what? Have some decency. Like, let's actually, let's look out for each other. I think that's just the problem nowadays. So I look forward to the summer coming to an end, people getting back to work and school, just because it's just so nice. I don't know. I just don't have... So what I did, okay, now I'm going to get back on track to the story. So when my 40th birthday came around, we did the little, one-off kind of get-togethers with people. And then I didn't go off the grid. I just stopped reaching out to people, texting, calling. I'm a big talker. I talk a lot, as you can tell, listening to this show. And I'm always the person who's initiating conversation and, sending funny texts and kind of, whatever. And so I just kind of pulled back from that, from being people's entertainment after a while. And maybe I did that for attention seeking. I don't know. It's not like I was trying to, but if I was going for, a walk with the dog, sure, I would call somebody and we would have a 45-minute, hour-long conversation, right? It was just something to do. And so I totally pulled back. And it also goes to show you how people, think about you and care for you, right? Oh, I haven't heard from Jeremy in 2 weeks. I wonder if he's okay. But that's where I did kind of then break the code of silence, or the cone of silence at that point. And then I did start, if somebody reached out to me. But what I'm saying is I stopped reaching out to people first. And I got to tell you, it felt really good. It was just so nice. Our phones are generally on silent. Here's the deal. Here's how much of a big shot I am. I have 3 cell phones. One of them is absolutely a work phone that's on 24 hours a day because I'm an entertainment reporter. So when Anne Heche dies in a fiery car crash, when Alec Baldwin shoots somebody in the face, when Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson break up, when all these things happen, a lot of times I will have to jump on the radio because that's my job. I have a contract to do that. As do many, news anchors. If you host the big newscast and all of a sudden the president is assassinated, you're hauled on the air. That's just how it works in the business. So yes, I had one of my phones, which is always on, but it's in another room, and it really is just on for news alerts and work-related things. There's a different tone, ringtone, or chime. But the personal phones that I have, and same thing with my husband, where, we were working or he was working and we kind of we were still doing work stuff. But what I'm saying is we weren't reaching out to people and being social. So not talking to my brother, not talking to my, friends or, the neighbor, because, you text your neighbor sometimes even, or if you don't see them for a while. And it was just refreshing. It was just really nice to not have the interaction, like no outside influence. We were still doing the work stuff. I was still communicating, by email with my colleagues and my staff. I own a company, so I can't completely disappear. But I'm saying was I cut off all of the casual social chatter and banter. And I don't know. I mean, normally that makes you feel good, right? When you have a good chat with your friend, or, you know, a conversation with a relative or family member. And it's nothing against anybody personally, but I was just kind of like, let me just pull back from everybody, just the personal side of me. And so then when people did reach out, they're like, oh, is it a midlife crisis? What happened? You turn 40 and all of a sudden you disappear. Because it was just sort of like, you know, I just take a time for myself. So what I did then, and we did this for about 2 weeks, truthfully. I mean, my husband, now you have to realize my husband's family lives in Brazil. So I'm not saying, oh, don't talk to, like, I don't say that to him, right? But it was just a decision that I made, that I had no interaction with family members. I didn't really, you know, talk to people on a personal basis. And we still went about our days. We would go, because again, like I said, very lovey-dovey. We're in our bubble. If we go to the mall, whatever, we went for lunch. And we were going for lunches. We were going for drinks on a patio. I don't know how many massages. I think that in that 2 week, well, it was a little bit longer than 2 weeks, but I think in that 2 week period, I spent probably close to $2,000 on massages, chiropractor, bath and body products, candles, lotions, bubble bath, going to the spa, going to the sauna, going to the, not the hot spring, what do you call that? The Nordic spa, where you've got like that freezing cold water that you go through, and then into the steam room in the sauna. Like, we were just in luxury. And, well, I mean, I have a lot of money, I'm not bragging, but I have money, don't worry. And it was just so nice to like pamper myself for once. Not give two shits what time it is. Like I've said many times, we wake up at 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. We sometimes will go to bed even before midnight. Might even, you know, have some hanky-panky for 2, 3, 4 hours before bed. Like, that's just, you know, we're just kind of enjoying things. So it wasn't necessarily that 40 kind of put me over the edge and was like, oh my God, I'm middle-aged. It's all downhill now and blah, blah. No, it was just kind of like, I want to take some time and just do nothing, just shut out myself. So it's a little bit different than when people go and say, I'm unplugging for the weekend, or I'm taking a break from social media. Yeah, you know what? That lasts like a day or two for the average person. Let's be honest, right? You might go and say, well, I'm unplugging, taking a break from social media. What does that mean? Does that mean that you're taking a break from everything? You're not logging in, you are not, or you're just not posting? Because I have heard one person who did go and say, oh, I'm taking a break, whatever. But then when you see them on Messenger and there's a little green dot that shows they're online, it's kind of like, you didn't take a break, buddy. Sorry, you can't beat it. You can't break your habit. For me, I can go 3, 4. I mean, I almost want to look at my Instagram page right now, because I think I maybe did post something on my birthday, which was August 1st. I might have posted something on my birthday, I think it was, which was August 1st. But I can go 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even a month, without posting a picture on Instagram. Because I don't care. And again, I've said this many, many times. I don't care. So for me to unplug from social media, done. And I don't even have to. That's not even me making an effort. That's not me even going and saying, I'm going to log. I'm not even tempted. I do it. I log on to social media to kind of have a laugh at the ridiculousness of what people post and bitch about. What they kvetch is the word. What they kvetch about. I have no interest in running and giving every single update of my life, because, and I've said, I don't think you should care, and I don't think that you want to know, and I don't think that you should want to know what I'm doing every minute of the day. I just get a life, live your own life. It's not like, so anyway, so that's just my thing, was that we shut out the world, and then but here's the deal, is that when I then did have those next conversations with whoever it was, you know, family member, friend, whatever, it was almost like a mini reunion. And yes, there are people who I would text literally every day, if not every second or third day. And even if it's just something funny, just something stupid, something silly, because that's what I'm known for in my groups of people. And so it was sort of fun to not talk with my sister-in-law for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh my God, I haven't heard from you. What's new? Because now you've got something to talk about again, right? I think with social media, you're constantly seeing these people every single day. It's no different than a coworker. Eventually you run out of things to talk about. Unless you guys are constantly doing things in your personal lives every day, you sort of run out of things. And that's what it was kind of like, oh my God, so how's the summer going? What have you guys been doing? And now it's like, oh my God, it was only 2 weeks. was only 2 weeks, but you're reconnected. And that's what was really fun about that. So tell me if you've not unplugged from social media, but just hid out from the world. Have you ever just stayed in your house for 3-4 days, not on just watching TV, just binging TV, hanging out in the bath, cooking, dancing, whatever it is that you do at home? Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.